Welcome everyone. So in the last video we have learned about some data types like int, short, float and long. In this video we will continue our study to other data types, and before that there is a question that is it required to study all the data types. So literally there is no need to study every of the data types. We just need some simple data types like int, string sometimes, and float, not more than that. The other complex data types like arrays etc are not required. In case of other programming languages like C, Python etc, we just work on data types and required strings, variable etc. Like in C we just give values to variable and then again variable and then work on them, provide logics to them. But in case of Arduino it is different. We just need little data types like here I show you example of our code again which we are going to build. So in this code we just require 4 variables. Here thrice the int and once a string, which is not required commonly, but in some cases it is required to mention it. And then after we just need functions. Here you can see again and again the red color words are denoting functions. And in every of Arduino code we just need some particular functions. Neither a variable or array is required much in these cases, so it's just like you have to know about these data types so you are familiar with them. And now let me continue our study to other data types. And again, as I told you that we're not able to demonstrate every of data types because they're all just similar to each other, and I think most of you get familiar with how we can use them, like I have shown you the integers etc. So now we have character, and then we have bool, then we have boolean, then we have some unsigned characters, unsigned int, and then unsigned character, and then unsigned long, and then we have word, then we have void, then in last we have double and a bit also. After this we have 3 data types left, that is string, string with parentheses, and arrays, which are a little complex data types, so we will learn about them in a single video after this. So let me begin with char. So with the word char, I think you understand it's denoting characters. So what do characters means? Characters means values like A to Z, and then capital A to capital Z etc. These are character values. Also any number value in quotes is also refers to as a character value. And the syntax for is, these are just character x is equal to and any of the value like A here or 8, 6 etc. All these are character values, and this simple syntax is for character variables. And after this we have bool and boolean. So what does the difference between bool and boolean? And first, what is bool and boolean? So bool and boolean consist of only 2 values, that is either true or false, and their syntax is like for bool it's bool and any variable and a particular value either true or false. For boolean it's boolean, and then y is equal to, let me give here false, and we can use them in conditions like in if conditions, if either it is true or false, like if x is equal to high denoting true, and then go to the function in if and continue the statement. And this is discussed in further videos. I'm just showing you a little of it. So this is the bool and boolean. Now what is the difference between bool and boolean? So bool is the standard boolean data type for Arduino, and boolean is non-standard data type. There's no more difference in them, except their syntax are also different, but they are just standard and non-standard data types, and consisting of just true and false. So where we require these true or false, so in conditional operators we require the value is either true or false by our input or by the sensors, etc., and then the program work on that. Either if it is true, then it will work on a particular statement, or if it is false, then it will terminate other statement. So these are where we are required boolean values, and soon we will work on them when we are working on if statements. And then we have some unsigned data types. So before them, what is unsigned data types mean? So unsigned denoting that we have only positive values. So in these we just count only the positive values, like in integers value before we have some particular range from minus to plus, which is 32,000 something, and here in integer like unsigned int we have a range from 0 to 65,535. So this is the range in unsigned integers. So what does this range means, or what is it? So it is a 16-bit value, or we can say that it can store a 16-bit value. And what does 16-bit value means? So it means 2 raised to power up to 16, which is equal to 65,536. So this statement means that it goes up to 2 raised to power 16, denoting that it can store values up to this. And but here we have 65,536, and here we have used 65,535. So where is the missing term goes? So this term is from 1 to 6,536, consisting of 65,536 values. But in this case we have from 0 to 65,535, consisting of again 65,536 value, including 0. Here we did not include 0, so the last term is excluded from this. That's why we have 0 to 65,535. So these are the unsigned ints, having a double range of integers values, but only in a positive direction. After that we have unsigned characters. These are similar to character, there is no difference in them, just difference of syntax. So if we talk about syntax, then their syntax is like unsigned int and then x is equal to, let me consist 584, something like this. So here this makes a sense also. This is differentiating it from simple integers value that are int, so we can include unsigned here. Similar in this way we have here unsigned char and unsigned long, and in unsigned character we have no difference from character, as I told you. Then we can move to unsigned long. So unsigned longs are just floating values with a range of 0 to, again I cannot even pronounce it, 4, then 294 967 295. So this is the range of unsigned longs. These are very large values, which means it can store anything. But again, I told you that in cases of sensors, we work on a large number of values. In 1 second, the sensors can take more than lakhs of observations, so we require these unsigned logs a number of time, but not every time. So don't get confused in this. And after that, we have some simple data types again, which are not require much, but for our knowledge we have to cover them. First of all, we have bit. Let me talk about bit first. So bit is an unsigned number from 0 to 255, which is again a 8-bit value. I think you can calculate 8-bit value, which means 2 raised to power 8 equal to 256, and here we have 0, so excluding last term it becomes 255. So we have 256 values here, 0 to 255. So these are bits and simple numbers which can store values, but in these values can also be stored in character forms. Like if we store A means 65. It's a numeric value to A, which is denoting capital A. Every value has again a capital value, number value, which denotes their particular value. So these are bits. And then we have word. Word is a 16-bit value, which is again unsigned value, which means we have positive value, and similar range from 0 to 65,535. That's why I told you that we do not require to demonstrate every of the data type, because all these directly or indirectly dependent on each other or similar to each other. So that's why we do not need them, and in our program we can only make our program by using some simple data types, not everyone. Then we have void. Actually, void is a keyword which is used like in here void setup and void loop, but it's also included in data types by Arduino, and that is because a void denotes that it will return no value to the function. That's why it's considered in data types. And now to all students, those who have learned programming also, and to those who did not ever learn programming, what does no value return to the function means? So I think some of you are familiar to it, that what does it mean. And for others, like here we have void. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean that it will give no value to us. It means that after the completion of this function, it will provide a 0 value to that function again. So it will not work on again, or did not get complex with the value. Like if it return 5, 6 or any other value, then it will take the value in its program and make some complex situations. For that we provide void. Void means that the function will not take any value from its internal function that is working here. So this is the void, which is, I told you, a keyword but consists data type. After that we have double. These are just floating values with a double range of only positive values. And after this there are 3 data types left, about which we will learn in further videos. But before that, the important data types which we are going to use mostly and require. So for that you just have to focus on int. There are, I told you, that integer values. After that, other is character values, and last string, which is not much required but in some cases is required, and last float. And a non-common one is unsigned int. Except these 5 values, we rarely require any of other data types. So don't get deeper in other data types, just focus on int, particularly on int I suggest, and a little on strings and float, and a much little on unsigned ints. Except this, there is no require of other data types. So thank you for watching. In the next video we will cover strings with parentheses and arrays.